Greetings, everybody. This is Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor, back at you. I want to say welcome to the show again. If you haven't checked my previous shows, please do so. We're pumping them out, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to talk today about style and how intricate style could be in improving your life and the way you do things today. So, be back in a few minutes with a few topics, as always. Be good. Peace. Welcome back to the show. This is Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor. Thank you for joining me. Today's style tip is going to be about the proper way to wear a suit. What I mean by that is, when you're standing up, you always button your middle button. If it's a if it's a 3-button suit. If it's a 2-button suit, you're going to button the top button. Gentlemen, you never button the top. You never button the bottom button of your suit. What that does, it adds extra stress on your garment as well as the button when you're sitting down. When you're standing up, it also allows, when you don't button that bottom button, it allows your lapel and the rest of your jacket to flow more evenly. When you button all the buttons up, sitting here, you can see that it doesn't look right. But when you're sitting down, the first thing you do before you sit down, you want to unbutton your button and sit down, so it reduces the stress you're putting on your button as well as the back of your jacket. The other thing I want to style tip I want to give you is the same philosophy, but it's about the vest. When you're wearing a vest or a waistcoat, you never button the bottom button of your vest. So you don't have to unbutton the buttons on your vest. You can leave you can button them up, but you always leave that last button unbuttoned. Imagine, unfortunately today I don't have a vest on, but imagine yourself buttoning all the buttons up all the way down to the last button, and you go to sit down. That last button is going to start pulling because now it's being to reduce stress on the vest. So the tips that I just provided you was, when you're sitting down in your jacket, you always unbutton your jacket. You will always want to button that middle button. If you're wearing a 2-button suit, you want to always button that top button only. So, rule of thumb, 3-button suit, sometimes, always, never. 2-button suit, always, never. Same idea with the vest. If you're wearing a vest, you never button the bottom button. And remember, before you get into your vehicle, remove your jacket, put it on the back of your seat, lay it on the back of your seat, or if you have a rack like most gentlemen have behind the headrest of your seat, make sure you put it on there, and that way it'll help reduce some wrinkles prior to going to your engagement. And greetings, Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor. I'm back again talking to you now about my books. Ladies and gentlemen, I've created self-published 3 books out of the necessity to help men build their style. My wife and I gave birth. We have 2 children, but we also created 3 additional to do an interview, or you're trying to go for some funding for capital venture or something like that. You need to dress the part and understand how to put things together. And I know a lot of men out here are colorblind, and we don't have the ability to put things together. So I've simplified it in my books. So it goes with what? The difference in shoes, the shape of the shirt, those type things. That's book number 1. Style Doctor here. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about my book, The Power of Your Look. I understand that your look has a very important part in how people interact with you. In this book, I specifically talk about the rules on wearing rings. We talk about how to clean and condition and polish your shoes. From Michael Snell Bespoke, for under $500. Veteran transition from the military, how to dress appropriately, appropriate attire. I know in the military we're used to wearing uniforms, but a lot of times when we transition from the military, we don't understand how corporate America wants us to dress, the requirements. So this book is a very robust book. I also talk about the difference between fragrance, perfumes, toilet and cologne. All of this information plus more inside of The Power of the Look. Welcome back to The Style Doctor. This is Michael Snell. And today I have a good guest with me, one of my fraternity brothers as well. His name is Roy Smith. Roy Smith, pleasure to have you.
Nice to see you, brother.
Likewise, likewise. So, Mr. Smith, I'd like to tell the audience exactly what it is that you do.
Well, actually, I'm a digital consultant. It didn't start out that way. Actually, I started off in the pharmaceutical industry. That's what led me to become a digital consultant. But back in 1997, I decided to set up an online training program for new drug reps. From 88 to about 97, people used to always ask me, how do I become a drug rep? How do I become a drug rep? And I said, maybe I need to start helping people get into the pharmaceutical industry, pharmaceutical sales. And about early 90s, I started reading everything I could about the internet. I heard it was coming, it was on its way. Internet hadn't really blown up yet. And by 97, I realized that, maybe I need to take this training program, which I was doing live in 8-hour training sessions at major hotels up and down the East Coast. I said, maybe I need to take this live 8-hour training program to the internet. And so the most logical thing was to set up a website to sell this training program online. Set up an ugly website, black and white, no sales. 6 months went by, no sales at all. And lo and behold, one day someone from Los Angeles called, said they wanted to order my training program. And I took the order over the phone, asked the guy, what can I do to make it better? He said, you need to add some color, add some bells and whistles. I did. Lo and behold, I got a few more orders. So every order that I received from that point forward, I asked the people, what did you like about the website? What could I do to make it better? And everybody told me a little something every time I made more improvements to the website. And before you know it, I was getting orders flooding in from all over the world. As a matter of fact, I had to get an 800 service, live 800 service. In the early years of the internet, most people weren't comfortable putting their credit cards in, so they want to talk to a live person. So I got a live person take those orders, and back then I had them fax those orders to me from the 800 service. And I remember fax machines used to go boop, 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 boop. There were times when I would be in my bed sleep at night, and somebody in another time zone around the world would order, and my fax machine, I'm sleeping, my fax machine would go boop, 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 boop. I look over and see an order dropping off. I remember
got paid,
being in the bathtub, taking a bath, and I hear the fax machine going off. And, well, that's orders. I mean, I eating dinner, I hear, and I look over the fax machine. So that concept of living a laptop lifestyle, it is real if you're in the right niche with the right product. But anyway, the Chamber of Commerce here in Columbia recognized it as an innovative technology. I was nominated for the Palmetto Pillow Awards, which is a program that's orchestrated by the Chamber of Commerce once a year, every year. Nominated with that, with major corporations around Columbia. And because of that, people started asking me to help them with their websites. And I started helping people for free with their websites. I said, wait a minute, I need to start charging people. So I went back and got a degree in website design. And before you know it, I was in a website that, as that window of opportunity closed for training people online, because a lot of major businesses found out what I was doing and they just took over, because I'm just a little guy. But as people found out about website design, I started getting more and more website business. And all those people I started helping with websites, I found out they knew nothing about marketing their websites online. So I said, wait a minute, I might need to start helping these people market their websites online. So before you know it, my website design business evolved into internet marketing consulting. And over the years from 2004 to now, I've been doing web design, marketing online, internet marketing, as well as digital marketing. That kind of evolved into being a digital marketing consultant.
So let me understand this correctly. You went from outside or inside pharmaceutical sales to creating your own website design and digital marketing company.
Yes. Over a 12-year period of time.
Over a 12-year,
Yeah.
But it's just,
13 years.
and what I like about that is how you look at capitalizing on an opportunity.
Right.
So here was an opportunity. You took advantage of the opportunity in a positive way, not taking advantage of individual, but you took advantage of the opportunity,
Right.
and you capitalize on it. And what I noticed, a lot of people are kind of hesitant about taking that leap of faith and capitalizing on an opportunity. So I truly commend you for being a man of vision and being able to say, you know what, here's an opportunity, I'm going to try it. And I'm pretty sure at the time you still had your pharmaceutical sales job and you still was
Well, actually,
building.
funny story about that. When I decided to make the leap into doing online training, I was working for a major Swiss-based pharmaceutical company, Hoffmann Roche, out of Switzerland, and I quit my job. My parents thought I was an absolute fool. I said, and this was back in '97. I mean, I'm making good money.
Yes.
And some of the people that I started training in my training program went out and got jobs with other major drug companies. And one of those people that I trained and got a big job with another drug company came back and recruited me to another drug company. So I ended up with the job as a digital consultant as well as working for a drug company on contract, because pharmaceutical sales is a really flexible business.
Yes.
And but I must say, to kind of make a point of taking the leap of faith, the pharmaceutical industry, that job itself actually trained me, prepared me to be a person who is not afraid to take leaps of faith, because anytime we launch a new drug, starts from zero. Every major drug you see on TV or wherever starts from zero, ground zero, and the drug rep has a responsibility to go out into the marketplace and launch that drug in their territory from zero. So the drug rep is the face of the drug company. I was the face of the major drug company, Swiss-based, Novartis, Pfizer, different drug companies I worked for. But it kind of dovetails into style, because it's because of the style, the way I presented myself as a well-dressed man, it made it very easy for me to go into do presentations for physicians, for pharmacists, for nurses, for hospital administrators, because perception is reality. And to them, representing a major drug company and presenting myself as a well-dressed man made that process a whole lot easier for them to believe in me and what I was selling.
Okay, so now you touched on my area of expertise, style. And I'm glad you mentioned that how you paid avid attention to your style and how your style was applicable to opening up doors and providing windows of opportunity for you to take advantage of, what you talked about a few minutes ago. And that's profound to me, because what I'm seeing today in society is that a lot of men, young men and older men, are kind of lost when it comes to style, and they don't understand the importance of how your style plays a intricate role on the job you may get, or the interview you may get, or the job you may not get, or the interview you may not get. So your perception is 100%. So regardless of what you have up here, the first thing people are going to see is what you present to them.
Right.
And if it's an unpolished gentleman walking toward them, more than likely, regardless of what's coming out of your mouth, they're not going to be paying attention to you.
Right.
So you morph from pharmaceutical sales to creating your own digital company, back into pharmaceutical sales as a contractor, and all of that, still remaining relevant to style. That I commend you for being a stand-up man and understanding how important style is, how important style is to you and to other men out here. So other than that, you have can you give us a brief background on, not what you do, but who are you?
Well, I'm a product of a book called The Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
I read it when I was 11 years old, and that and many other personal development books. Personal development is a major part of my life. I'm a product of The Secrets of Success. Really no secrets. Success leaves clues. Many of the personal development books, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, many other personal development guys that we all know, they leave the clues that we need. It's no secret. I'm a product of that, and I believe that life is what you make it. Your thoughts become your actions. What you feed your brain becomes your thoughts. Your thoughts determine how you conduct yourself. So we are who we think, what we think. But it's really important as to what we feed our brain. We all have to learn how to fuel our own fire, so to speak. Nobody's going to, especially where black men are concerned. We have to learn to fuel our own fire, motivate ourselves, live by the secrets of success. There's a book called The Laws of Success,
Yes.
The Secrets of Success,
Yes.
The Richest Man in Babylon. All those books, you don't need someone else to motivate you if you learn to motivate yourself. And you have a perpetual motivation machine if you learn to read and grow from books like that.
So I'm also an advocate reader of many of the books that you just spoke of. if you had to suggest to our audience one book, one of those books that you think would be instrumental in their life, and breaking through the cusp of greatness, which one would you recommend?
I would have to say a good book would be Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
And particularly Think and Grow Rich from a black perspective. There's another book that was written by a brother, and it's, I think, Think and Grow Rich from a black perspective, or Black Wealth, something along that way. But it's in the bookstore, you can find it. But any of those books would be good. But that along with understanding perception is reality. We live in a society that has been conditioned to react to a person based on the way they look, and it's sad, but you get the reactions you get from people are a reflection of what you look like, and that's sad, but that's the way the life is.
That's the way life is. Because I'm glad you said that, because recently I posted something and I've gotten a lot of ridicule about it on Facebook. Again, I'm thick-skinned, so I said something about especially men of color, if you want to be taken serious, get a decent haircut and get a decent trim beard. And everybody just started attacking me. And they really didn't understand exactly what I was saying, because they became so defensive about what was said that they didn't really focus on what was being said. If you want to be taken serious, you have to present yourself in a package so people can understand what it is you're trying to do. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to sell me? Now, in the world of sales, being in pharmaceutical sales, I'm pretty sure that was a very volume-driven sales. So if you would have came into those establishments, unpolished, ungroomed, your sales probably would have been, you probably wouldn't have gotten through the door. And just because who you're representing probably let you in, but your sales probably wouldn't have been as significant,
Right,
because of the way you're presenting yourself. And that's how I feel as though in your industry, whether it be your privately owned company or your company or the company you work for as a contractor, how important style is to men today, to men tomorrow, and how it was important to men of the past.
right,
So,
right. And I look at this suit as a uniform. When I get up in the morning, I put on my uniform and I go out to fight the war, so to speak. And this is what I need to be able to fight the war. As a matter of fact, when I'm talking to young men, I use the analogy that if I was an alien and I came to Earth, one of the most important things I would need to do is to camouflage myself in a uniform or an image that would allow me to migrate and move among the people of that planet. And so the point I'm making is that I don't want to look like an alien from another planet here on Earth. I want to blend in with the society in the best possible way that I can. And one of the best possible ways to do that is to look like the person that our society has been conditioned to have a positive image of.
so where do you feel as though you received that drive to present yourself in a positive way? But I know we talked about reading. That's feeding the mind, and I'm pretty sure that matriculated over to your outer appearance. But what do you think your style
Interesting
derived?
question. I should have addressed that early on. My father took gentleman's quality, GQ, early in my high school. I was in high school, little boy. My father was a school principal, high school principal, and he took GQ magazine. And when he finished with the GQ magazine, I used to flip through the pages, and I would see these guys on Mercedes and Learjets and limousines, and I said, wow, these guys are living the kind of life that I want to live. I'm a little guy. Looking at Gentleman's Quality magazine, I said, that is how I want to live. And that is where I think I saw an advertisement for the book, Think and Grow Rich. And,
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to get that book and read it, because undoubtedly that's what those guys in the book are reading.
You know what? I do recall seeing an advertisement, one of those hard pieces of paper inside a GQ magazine about Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
But I was exposed to Think and Grow Rich when I was an employee for Mr. Joe Dudley.
Okay.
With Dudley Products. What we would do when he would walk and talk and educate me, he would give me different books to read. Again, a man of your stature understands exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about feeding the mind, and I in college I wasn't really taught that until I got out of college and I started exposing myself to people bigger than my circle. That's when I began to understand how important feeding the mind was through external sources like Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh So He, the Power of Thought, the art of selling,
Right.
all of these, the Zig Ziglar's and all the other
all
people
that.
that are out there that are teaching us about, how to feed the mind and how to propel yourself forward in society. But we're going to wrap up
Okay.
here. I want to thank you very much for taking this time out of your day to come in to discuss with me and the audience about what it is you do. And we'll give you an opportunity right now to tell the audience right now the name of your company, how they can find you.
Okay.
So you want to go
Okay.
ahead.
The name of my company is Advanced Global Marketing. You can find me on the internet by going to www.agm3.com. That's Advanced Global Marketing, LLC. And you can find me at www.agm3.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you, brother.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, this is Michael again, the Style Doctor. Have you ever heard of taking advantage of opportunities? Today, in the crawl, walk, run phase of this segment, I'm going to give you specific instructions about taking advantage of opportunities. We were taught to be, leery of people coming with ideas or coming with opportunities because they may not be true. There are also people out there in the world that that are unscrupulous and they'll come and they're trying to take advantage of you. But inside, what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. So, as a child, we have our defenses up because I shouldn't say that. As a child, we don't really have our defenses up. So as a child, we're already in the run phase because we're not afraid of taking advantage of opportunity or taking a leap of faith. So today we're going in the reverse order. So from a child, you're already in the run phase of life. You're willing to take that jump off of that bridge. You're willing to take that bicycle and ride as fast as you can. You're willing to take risks like no other. So as a child, we're already in the run phase. As we become older, we become more so in the crawl phase because now we're becoming shy. We don't want to take risks. We're afraid of what could happen, all the woulda, coulda, shouldas in life that are thrown our way. But is that healthy for us? Do you think that, you're better as a child or you're better as a young adult or a teenager? Maybe, maybe not. But I would rather be that child that's willing to take a leap of faith versus that young person that's leery about doing or saying or trying anything. It's up to you to make that decision. But I would rather, keep my life, and my goals and my ambitions in the run phase, which is equivalent to being a child. Then you have the crawl, walk, and you have the run. As an adult, wow, we become so afraid. We become super vigilant of everything that's going on in the world. We're dealing with politics. We're dealing with racial equality. We're dealing with, economic disadvantage. We're dealing with all of these things that sometimes clouds our ability to see an opportunity. Or, better yet, an opportunity to support someone other than yourself. Because now it becomes about me. As an adult, that's what we become. Most of us as adults, we become self-centered. It becomes about what can I get out of this situation? What have you done for me lately? And it's all about I, me, I, me, I, me. And I think that's probably why we've gone kind of off the rails when it comes to, living our life, to its true expectations. Ponder for a second. Are we living our life to our true expectations? Are you that in your life right now? How do you see yourself? Are you that child, metaphorically speaking? Are you that young adult crawling? Or you're that adult afraid of taking risks, afraid of taking advantage of opportunities in a positive way, not taking advantage of someone, but taking advantage of opportunities? How do you see yourself? How are you positioning yourself in life to take, your life to its next level. So today's topic, the crawl, walk, run phase, was about, in reverse order today. Sorry if I confuse anybody, but it was in reverse order. As a child, we're already running. You come out of the womb, you start walking, and then you don't have any racial biases, you don't have any prejudice, you don't have any fears. You're just living life to its fullest. As a young adult, we become a little haphazard about making decisions. A little gun shy. What are my parents going to say about this? What are my friends going to say about this? Are they going to like me if I make this decision? Or if I go to this school, am I going to still be a part of the family? You have all these other decisions to make then. Once you become an adult, now you worry about, will I have enough money to pay this bill? Do I have enough savings to provide for my children to go to college? So in life, we are constantly doing the crawl, walk, run phase. But, sorry my allergies, but in life, how will you want to be remembered? How do you want to position yourself in life right now so you can make a good, conscious decision and helping propel us forward in society? I asked you that question. And I asked myself that question. But I made a conscious decision some years ago that I was going to take a leap of faith. I was going to start my own clothing company with no formal training. Why? I also made a commitment that I was going to self-publish through my own 3 books. I made a commitment that I was going to have my own online magazine. Knew nothing about publication, knew nothing about style of fashion, knew nothing about owning companies, but I had the necessary tool sets, and I was trained and I was mentored by successful people that put me in the right frame of mind to make those decisions. Sometimes in life you can't put yourself in a box and expect that box to get bigger. You may have to knock down one of those sides of that box and change the form of the box to make it bigger. Because if you stay inside that box, the box is still going to be the box. But if you knock down one of those walls, guess what? You can expand that box. And that's what I challenge you with today, in today's crawl, walk, and run phase. This is Michael Snell Bespoke, aka the Style Doctor. Thank you. Goodbye. Greetings. Michael Snell Bespoke, aka the Style Doctor's here. Today I'm talking about my 3rd book, The Importance of Your Look. How important is your look to you? To me, it's vital. In this book, I talk about the difference between a $40 shoe and a $400 dress shoe. We talk about the difference between boxers and briefs. How to look like $1,000 for only $100. How to tie a scarf. Some of the things we think we know, but we don't really know, are in this book. I also talk about the different patterns of fabric. We talk about argyles, checks, glint plaids, herringbones, houndstooth, pinstripes, tartan, window pane. We talk about all these type of fabrics in this book. Types of shirt stays. I didn't understand. Most of you forgot about the shirt stays, so that's just as important. Keeping your collar up. So I promised my wife on this book that I will put my photo on it to let people know who I am. This is Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor, coming to you live. Thank you. Thank you for joining the Style Doctor show today. It was a great privilege to have Mr. Smith on. Very, very informative. So today I want to do a quick recap. Of course, this is one of our many shows to come. But I want to say, initially I talked about your style tips. I talked about the proper way to wear your suit, coat, blazer, jacket, whichever one you're wearing. How and when to button, what button to button on that. I also talked about how to appropriately button on and wear your vest or waistcoat. So those were the style tips that I gave you. And also on the back side, I gave you another style tip of making sure that when you get into your vehicle, you remove your jacket. and to help reduce, wrinkles in the back of your jacket. Then we went to we talked about the style corner, or that was the style corner. I went into talking about the crawl, walk, run phase. I did it in reverse order, but I did it in reverse order to make it make sense. Understand that our fears could be handcuffing us on what it is we want to do in life. And some things in life may not come to you in a nicely covered box. So sometimes we may have to take a leap of faith and go out there and take advantage of some of the opportunities presented to us. By saying that, I also talked about some of the obstacles I had to overcome when I took a leap of faith in creating my own companies. I talked about one company, but I also have a third company, which is Digital SEO Village. That's where we create your digital footprint across the world, allowing you to focus more on what it is that you are specialized in doing, and allow us to develop your website, to develop your mobile app, to develop your social media marketing management, keywords, SEO, graphic design, virtual personal assistants, all of those things. I created that company out of necessity. I got tired of getting asked or getting burned from other companies that were taking advantage of me. After $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 later in the hole from investing in those companies, I decided I could do it myself. Now, so again, taking a leap of faith. And I could have stayed in my box of being a retired military officer, getting my retirement check and my disability, but I made a decision that I wanted to help change the world through fashion. I wanted to have a style conversation. And, I'm sorry I used the word fashion because that word is thrown around so much. I wanted to change the world through style, so forgive me, and help us men get back on track to where we're supposed to be in society. I'm using style to have barbershop conversations. So all the conversations you see on the show, those are your typical barbershop conversations we have within the barbershop. No, I don't have hair, but I still go to barbershop. Those are breeding grounds for conversation. So that's what my intentions of bringing to you here on this show are barbershop conversations. So you can have conversations about what it is you do.